Guys, welcome back to the 4 Ounce Fanatic channel. Today we will be reacting to UFC 322 this past weekend. Yeah, there was quite a few good fights on this card. Obviously, the co-main and main sort of put a dampening on the card, but it was a very impressive win for the two champions and you Islam Makhachev as well. So yeah, today we'll be just reacting to every fight and matching up every fighter, every winner on the prelim and every fighter on the main card. So without further ado, let's get into it. First fight of the night, we had Mateusz Camillo versus Vyacheslav Borshev, Slava Claus. Yeah, Mateusz Camillo won by decision. He definitely had a huge advantage in the grappling. I'm not sure if Borshev was injured. He had the knee straps on. He was getting taken down pretty easily. It was a fairly close fight. I mean, there was a clear striking advantage for Borshev, but the grappling and the control time, the takedowns of Mateusz Camillo did win in the fight. I did think it was a 29-28 decision. So yeah, nothing wrong with the judges. Excuse me, nothing wrong with the judges' scorecards in this one. And yeah, I think for Mateus Camillo's next fight, I think he should fight Rong Zhu. These guys are both two pretty young prospects. I think they're both about 25 years old. Um, I think it'll obviously be a striker versus grappler matchup. A good test for Rongju. I don't think he's really fought too many grapplers recently. I mean, he's on a two-fight win streak, both against kind of more strikers in Cody Steele and Austin Hubbard. So yeah, I think this would be a good matchup. Yeah, moving on to the second fight of the night, we had Baisangur Susurkayev versus Eric McConaughey. He won by third round KO. um, yeah, I think this guy is quite overrated despite having a good record. He is now 11-0. McConaughey did pretty well in the first two rounds, kind of getting out of the way of some of the big shots of Susurkayev. He did land some good body kicks. McConaughey landed a few good shots in the clinch, but was mainly kind of getting outstruck. Suzuki was just a bit cocky. Like I don't know if I like this guy's attitude. He's kind of just fucking around on the feet a bit, kind of playing with his food. I do think he could have got McConaughey out of there early if he wanted to, but I think he just, I don't know, man. He was just fucking around, not really taking him seriously, and he did get the round three KO, which was impressive. Face plants McConaughey into the canvas. Yeah, I mean he's a young prospect. He called out Bo Nickel. I don't think they're going to give him that fight. I think Bo Nickel would smoke him. I mean, he is a good wrestler, obviously. He did slam McConaughey at one point. But yeah, I don't think he's going to get Nickel. But I do think the next fight for Susukaev should be Torres Finney. Now, I know a lot of you might be confused at this. I mean, Torres Finney was just about to fight Azamet Bokoev, but I believe he got injured for some reason. But yeah, I just think this would be an interesting matchup. Obviously, Susukaev's got a huge height advantage, but both guys are 11-0, decent prospects in the middleweight division. And I think Susukaev should just get tested with someone who is actually, fairly skilled and can fucking grapple and isn't just gonna, lay down as easily as some of his past opponents in the UFC and Contender Series. So yeah, I think this would be a good matchup. Torres Finney versus Baisangur Susurkaev, if I'm saying that correctly. But yeah, moving on to fight number 3, we had Fatima Klein versus Angela Hill. I'll be honest, I didn't really watch too much of this fight, but I do know that Klein got some good takedowns. There were some decent scrambles, and I think she landed a head kick right at the end of round 3 that rocked Angela Hill right as she got up to her feet. But yeah, it's a good win for Fatima Klein. She's now on a 3-fight winning streak in the UFC. Her first fight was a loss at flyweight, going up a weight class on short notice. So obviously, she definitely belongs at 115, and now she's ranked. So yeah, I definitely think she deserves a ranked opponent. She's young, talented. Yeah, she kind of reminds me a little bit of Thug Rose. I mean, in terms of the striking, like she has good takedowns too, and has a nice head kick. Um, I mean, kind of looks like Thug Rose if you kind of shaved her head off. Anyway, she should fight Alexa Tainara. Yeah, I think both these girls are ranked just outside of the top 10 at this point. Both talented, young, well-rounded fighters. I think this would be a great matchup. Obviously, Tainara is just coming off that win over Loma Bunmi about 2 months ago at UFC Perth. So yeah, I think this would be a good fight for both girls to get a chance at a top 10 opponent if they win. Yeah, Fatima Klein, Alexa Tainara, book it. And moving on to the fourth fight of the night, we had Kyle Dorcas absolutely going out there and smoking Gerald Meerschaert in 50 seconds flat. I mean, Kyle Dorcas is back with a bang. I don't know what the fuck happened to this guy outside of the UFC. Like I don't know, the Yusuf Zalal effect is just in full fucking form right now for this guy. Gets another sub 1 minute finish over a tested veteran in GM3. Yeah, pretty much all that happened with this fight was Dorcas dropped him and lashed up a das, tapping out Meerschaert pretty much straight away. And I think Meerschaert went out too, but that's beside the point. He gets an impressive win, 2-0 now, and his return to the UFC. And I think a great matchup for Dorcas would be Edmund Shavazian. I mean, both guys, um, tall, lanky guys for the middleweight division, fast starters. They can get a submission or a knockout in the first round. Yeah, and knowing MMA Math, this fight's probably going to go to a fucking split decision. But yeah, I think this would just be a great matchup and a nice little step up in competition for Kyle Dorcas and Edmund Shavazian. Both guys I think are pretty evenly matched size and kind of where they stand in the division wise. So yeah, I think this would be a good fight. Yeah, moving on to fight number 5, we had Pat Sabatini beating Chepe Mariscal by decision. I didn't actually watch this fight either, but I do know that Pat Sabatini kind of just dominated in the grappling. We all know he's a beast of a grappler. I thought Chipe Marshall would have done a bit better in this fight and possibly get the win, but regardless, it's a good win for Sabatini. And yeah, he needs to step up in competition and a ranked opponent. And I think the perfect guy for him would be Dan Ige. I mean, Ige is really hard to put away. He's never been finished in all of his 10 losses. He's coming off that loss to Patricio Pitbull a few months back. And I mean, Sabatini's only loss in his last, I think, 5 or 6 fights is Diego Lopez. And I mean, look what this guy's doing in the featherweight division. So yeah, I think Dan Ige would be a good little test for Pat Sabatini. I definitely think you could put this as like kind of a co-main on an Apex card, or on the main card of a big fight night next year sometime, possibly the first quarter of the year. But yeah, Dan Ige, Pat Sabatini, book it. Fight number 6, we've got the mysterious man himself, Ethan Ewing, coming in on 48 hours' notice and shocking the world, beating Malcolm Wellmaker, who's a super highly hyped prospect. Well, he was at least coming into this fight. Yeah, Ewing really impressed me in this fight, man. I had no information on this guy. Obviously, he's so short notice. He's got the blanked out, blurred photo right here. Um, but yeah, he could have basically just put a fucking photo of Drew Dober with a beard on this guy. But yeah, I really think that Ewing impressed a lot of people, shocked the world, as I said earlier. Um, did a really good job of kind of slipping and ripping away from Wellmaker's big shots. I think Wellmaker won the first round. He landed some big shots that kind of rocked Ewing. Obviously, he's trying to land that big right hand. But Ewing did a really good job of kind of moving out of the way of the big shot and then returning with a few combos of his own. I mean, for every shot that Wellmaker threw, Ewing would throw back another 3. Yeah, he had some nice clinch work as well. Yeah, just a really slick, impressive performance for Ethan Ewing. Um, yeah, and there's not much else to say, man. He really impressed me in this performance, and I think obviously 99% of the people who were watching this fight were expecting Wellmaker to win, probably by knockout. But I mean, if you kind of look at his past opponents, he hasn't really fought anyone that's of the caliber of what we really think he is in terms of like we're thinking, oh, this guy should be ranked soon, but then if you look at the guys he's fought, they're like, oh, okay, wow, dude, oh my god, dude, you beat fucking Chris Matinho, no way. And then who did he beat? His David Cameron Saman, who's just not on the same level of majority of top 20 bantamweights. So I mean, yeah, I think Wellmaker did get exposed a little bit, especially as he was kind of just hunting for that KO, looking for that big shot. I do still think he is a talented guy, and he can come back and learn from this loss. So I will be giving him a matchup after Ethan Ewing. But I think for Ewing, he should fight Davy Grant. Obviously, Davy Grant's got a little bit of time to recover. He got knocked out recently at the Vancouver card about a month ago by Charles Jourdain. But yeah, I just think this would be an interesting matchup. Both guys seem to be pretty slick boxers. And I think it's a very winnable fight for both guys. I mean, Ewing, we don't really necessarily know his level yet in the UFC. I think this will be a good step up for him. I don't think he needs to get, a big name. Like, yeah, I was thinking about Cody Garbrandt, but I feel like he doesn't necessarily deserve that kind of level of name value yet. But I do think David Grant would be a good matchup for him. I think this would be a banger back and forth, some good boxing exchanges, and yeah, I think it's Ewing's fight to lose really at this stage of Grant's career, despite how good he is and how highly I rate Grant. I think that Ewing definitely has the skills to beat him, seeing how he performed against Wellmaker. And yeah, I think for Malcolm Wellmaker, he should fight Chris Gutierrez. I mean, both guys are coming off losses. Gutierrez, a bit of a journeyman in the bantamweight division, but he still is quite skilled, and he has the skills to beat Wellmaker. I think this would be a pretty close matchup. And if Wellmaker wins, it'd be a nice little win over a veteran to get him back on track in his career. So yeah, Wellmaker versus Gutierrez, I think, is a pretty evenly matched fight. Moving on to the next fight, we got Blanchfield versus Tracy Cortez. Yeah, I didn't watch this fight either, unfortunately, as I was busy. But I do know, obviously, Blanchfield gets the second round submission. Had some nice control time apparently, and some good takedowns. I did pick Blanchfield to win by submission, I believe, in my prediction video. So yeah, no, not too many surprises there. And yeah, I think for the next fight for Erin Blanchfield, I don't think she needs the title shot next. Obviously, I think we'll get to that later on in the video. But yeah, I think for Blanchfield, she should fight the winner of Karine Silva and Macy Barber. I mean, obviously, Blanchfield was picked to fight Macy Barber. I believe it was in June or July, but Barber pulled out literally like last minute, last minute as they're about to walk out. And there's a bit of beef between them, even leading up to that fight. So I think, yeah, if Barber wins, that'd be a good little rebooking for Blanchfield. Number one contender fight, in my opinion. There's a lot of history there between these two, obviously. And if Karine Silva wins, I think that'd be a great matchup too. Both girls are super strong grapplers. And yeah, saying that, it'll probably end up on the freaking feet. These girls will be swinging it out for 3 rounds like Covington Usman. But yeah, I think this is a good matchup. The winner of Macy Barber and Karine Silva for Erin Blanchfield. Moving on to the next fight of the prelims, we had Gregory Rodriguez winning by unanimous decision over Roman Kopylov. Yeah, this was a pretty impressive performance for Rodriguez, and I think Kopylov, as I predicted in my predictions video, his weakness has always been if he's fighting a guy who has decent grappling and forward pressure, he's always going to lose if he can't get going with his kicks. I mean, he did land a few nice kicks, landed a nasty head kick on Rodriguez, but didn't seem to phase him. Surprisingly, he did get when Rodriguez went for a takedown attempt. I believe it was a hip toss, judo throw, and Kopylov reversed it straight away, which is quite impressive. And then in the second round, I believe I think he got a trip. I'm not sure what happened. I can't remember, but I think he got a trip or some sort of like throw takedown on Kopylov. On Rodriguez, and Rodriguez immediately threatened on the ground with a knee bar. So Kopylov was like, all right, fuck that, I got no chance. And then kind of just got beat up on the feet. I mean, Rodriguez, we all know his power. He landed some big shots, a few nice right hands that clearly had an effect on Kopylov. And yeah, just impressive overall win for Rodriguez. Nothing too special, but yeah, I think it was a pretty good fight. Some decent back and forth action. Pretty much what I expected. And I think, I think Rodriguez deserves another shot at the top 15. He's on a 2-fight winning streak since that Cannonier loss. And yeah, he just looks a lot more patient with his strikes. He's not trying to rush the knockout and gas out as we saw in that Cannonier fight. So yeah, I think Joe Pyfer should be the next fight for Gregory Rodriguez. Both guys massive middleweights. I think they're both 6'3", powerful strikers with decent grappling as well. I think this would be a pretty good matchup, pretty evenly matched. I do think Rodriguez has the skills to win it, as I think his jiu-jitsu is slightly better. But Pyfer could get a knockout, Pyfer could get a submission. Both guys are pretty dangerous wherever the fight goes. So yeah, I think this would be a really interesting fight. Joe Pyfer, Gregory Rodriguez, book it. Moving on to the featured fight of the prelims, we had Bo Nickel. Bo Nickel is back, guys. All you freaking haters, dude. All you haters, man. I think I could beat Chimaev, dude. I really do. But now, all jokes aside, Bo Nickel with an incredible head kick knockout. Who saw that coming? Head kick knockout, round 3 KO over Rodolfo Vieira. Absolutely fucking flatlines him. Headshot dead, bro. Headshot dead is what I thought when I saw this knockout. I don't think anyone saw this coming. I mean, I do think a lot of people may have picked Bo Nickel to get the knockout, but not with a head kick, dude. And yeah, I mean, I predicted Bo Nickel to win, and his striking definitely did look improved. I don't know who he's been training with, but yeah, all things said, he did look really good. His striking was a bit more polished. He got into a bit more of a flow state. He was landing, the jab, and he looked a bit less clunky and awkward on the feet as he does in some of, or as he had in some of his past fights. I mean, obviously Vieira is not a striker. He's very limited on the feet, but still an impressive win for Bo Nickel. Um, yeah, I mean, he's definitely improved a lot since that RDR fight. And I don't think we should rush things with Bo Nickel, but I do think he deserves, a decent name, a decent step up in competition, and that name is Brad Tavares. I think this would be a good matchup. I mean, Brad Tavares, he has really good takedown defense. He's an absolute veteran at middleweight. I think he's been in the UFC for like 15 years. Obviously, he was ranked a few years ago. And yeah, I just think this would be a decent test for Bo Nickel to kind of see where he's at in the middleweight division. And then if he wins this, give him a top 15 opponent, honestly. Especially if he wins in dominant fashion. I mean, Tavares is on a bit of a losing streak, I think. He recently just lost to Robert Bryshek, who was making his debut by TKO. And yeah, I just think that their paths are kind of crossing at this stage of their careers. Yeah, I think if Nickel can win, this would be a good step up in competition for him, a good win. And if Tavares wins, he's just upset the prospect himself and Bo Nickel. So yeah, I think this would be a great fight. Moving on to the main card. First fight of the main card, we had Benoit Saint-Denis absolutely destroying Beneil Dariush in the first round, 16 seconds flat. I mean, there's not much to talk about in this fight, obviously. Fight starts off. Both guys are just kind of pawing at range. Dariush lands a big leg kick that kind of spins Saint Denis around, drops him, and then Dariush immediately enters the clinch, throws a blind knee, and gets fucking flatlined, face planted out fucking cold with a right hook from Saint Denis. Super impressive performance. I mean, I did pick Saint Denis to win. But I think a lot of people were counting this guy out. I think a lot of people were, I saw Bedtime say, Dariush was going to get the crafty vet decision. And the thing is, like as I mentioned in my prediction video, he's just Dariush is a lot more skilled pretty much anywhere the fight goes over Santini, but he's just fucking old, man, and he's chinny. And if he's fighting someone who's aggressive and like just wants to get in your face, like he's just not going to do well. So it kind of pretty much played out exactly how I thought. Saint Denis, super impressive win, gets the 16-second KO. I mean, I knew he was going to win, obviously, but I didn't expect it to be that quick. Yeah, man, what else can you say? Super impressive performance from Saint Denis. He's back, man. He's 3-0 in the UFC in 2025, and he definitely deserves a top 10 opponent. And I think a good matchup for him would be. Oh, excuse me. First of all, I forgot about this. Yeah, so yeah, Grant Dawson should fight Beneil Dariush, in my opinion. Obviously, Dariush needs a bit of a step down in competition, and yeah, I just think this would be a good matchup. Dawson is just ranked right at the bottom of the top 15. I think the grappling exchanges will be pretty interesting in this fight. And I mean, like I said, Dariush still has power in the hands. He has the ability to KO people. Obviously, we've seen Dawson get chinned by Bobby Green a few years ago. So yeah, I just think it would be a pretty interesting fight. And if Dawson wins, it's a great win for him, and he can move up further into a higher ranked opponent. And if Dariush wins, he's re-solidifying his place in the lightweight division. And yes, so for Benoit Saint-Denis, I think he should fight Rafael Fiziev. Yeah, I just think this would be a fucking absolute war. It'd be a banger matchup. Both guys would be beating the shit out of each other. I mean, obviously Fiziev will have the striking advantage by a fucking country mile. But Santini is a much better grappler, in my opinion. He's going to press that takedown. And I mean, we've seen, I think Fiziev's grappling is underrated, but I do think Santini is a lot better when it comes to, especially, having that judo background. I think he will do quite well. Yeah, I mean, Fiziev is coming off that win over Bahamondes. So he deserves, a guy ranked pretty decently in the top 10. I believe that Santini will be ranked top 10 within the next few days as he beat Dariush, who I think was number 9. Yeah, Dariush was number 9. So yeah, I think this would be an absolute banger of a matchup. Um, yeah, I mean Fiziev was probably going to KO him, but I mean I would like to see this fight. My prediction would be Fiziev by KO, but I think this would be an absolute banger. As I said, Fiziev versus Saint Denis, book that shit. Next fight of the night, we had Carlos Prates. Absolutely fucking headshot dead, bro. He landed the headshot dead on Leon Edwards in the second round. First round started off fairly slow. I mean, Prates was kind of just taking his time, not being too aggressive. Well, he was being aggressive, but he was kind of being a bit patient. Edwards got a takedown, but Prates was able to get up straight back to his feet, and he got kind of backpacked at the end of the round. Kind of getting punched, from behind by Edwards, and he was kind of just standing there like, bruh, really, bruh? I don't, like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? What are you doing? As Leon Edwards would say. And then in the second round, not much happened until Prates just landed an absolute laser of a left hand straight down the fucking pipe. And the crazy thing was, this just shows like Prates' level of power. Edward was kind of like partially blocking the shot with his right hand. He was kind of framed up blocking that shot with his right hand, and Prates lands the left hand, and he fucking sends Edwards flying across the octagon, and yeah, sleeps him out cold pretty badly. Edwards' face, face up to the fucking lights, smiling. I didn't get knocked out, bro. I didn't get knocked out. You saw me smiling, bro. Um, it was probably what was going through Edwards' head. But yeah, super impressive knockout for Carlos Prates. Crazy power, crazy win. Yeah, and he deserves a big step up in competition. But for Edwards, he obviously needs to step down. And I think that step down would be Gilbert Burns. I mean, Burns is on a big losing streak at the moment. And despite all of that, I do think Burns definitely has the ability to win this fight. I mean, he's clearly got the grappling advantage. He is quite old now. I think he's like 38, 39. Clearly past his prime. But I think Edwards is too, man. He's only 34, but he just seems to have like lost it. He's not gonna get back to the title picture anymore. So I just think he needs to, fight some tough guys in the welterweight division. Another grappler for Edwards, unfortunately, but I mean, he did get tested against a striker in this fight, and he got fucking smoked. So yeah, I think Gilbert Burns versus Leon Edwards will be a decent matchup. And for Prates, book him against Michael Morales. I know a lot of people were wanting to kind of give Morales a title shot against Makachev, but I mean, I don't think we should rush into it. I mean, the guy is 19-0. He's got a super impressive record, but he's only 25, man. And like, I just think there's a lot more interesting matchups for him at 170. And I know a lot of you are probably wondering, who the fuck are you going to give Makachev? Just y'all wait. Just y'all wait. Because, yeah, you'll see. UFC does make sense sometimes. So, yeah. But yeah, Morales versus Prates, I think this would be an absolute war of a fight. Obviously, two guys, super tall, big guys for 170, powerful strikers. Um, yeah, and I think both guys have an equal chance of kind of knocking each other out. I think Prates has more one-punch KO power, but Morales has got better pressure and kind of, power on the feet. But yeah, this would be a great matchup. Morales versus Prates. Winner gets the title shot. Yeah, that's it. Book it. Next fight of the night, we had Michael Morales, just mentioned. Obviously, we've already matched him up, so we don't need to match him up. But he beat Sean Brady by round 1 KO. Bit of a shocking fight. I thought it was going to be a lot closer, but Morales is the real deal, man, and he really showed it here tonight. Yeah, he came out with a super good game plan. He had his hips really far away from the rest of his body, kind of, had a low stance, fully expecting the game plan of Brady. And we all knew Brady, his game plan was to get Morales to the ground if he could. But he just couldn't get close to Morales, man. I mean, obviously he had a huge reach advantage. Morales did. He was landing the jab, and yeah, he caught Brady in about 2 minutes in with like a big, I think it was a big right hand, and then yeah, about 30 seconds later follows up with another flurry of strikes. I can't remember what the exact combination was. I think it was like an uppercut left hand or something. Drops Brady, finishes him with a bit of ground and pound. Super impressive win for Miles Morales, whatever you want to call him. And yeah, obviously I've just matched him up with Prates, which would be a great fight. And yeah, I think for Sean Brady, um, he should fight the loser of Ian Gary and Bilal Muhammad. I mean, either way, it'd be a good fight. I think Brady wanted to fight Ian Gary anyway. He was calling out for that. I think it would be a decent matchup. And for Bilal Muhammad, he'd get the rematch and possibly try and avenge that first loss in his career. Either way, yeah, the loser of Ian Gary Bilal Muhammad next week would be a good matchup for Sean Brady. And I think the winner, just a quick side note, I think the winner of Gary and Muhammad should fight for the title. I mean, I've matched Makachev up with someone else, but I think that depending on how impressive either guy wins, like especially if Gary wins by like KO in the first round, I think they will give him the title shot against Makachev. But we just got to hold fire and see what's going on in this division after the Muhammad and Gary fight next week. Co-main event of the evening, we had Valentina Shevchenko continuing her dominance against Zhang Weili. She wins by decision. Obviously, quite a boring fight. She just kind of fucking held Weili in half guard for majority of the fight. On the feet, she landed a few nice kicks, landed a spinning back kick to the body. But yeah, the size and skill difference really just showed in this fight. I mean, I did pick Weili to win, but yeah, she just was clearly outmatched by Valentina Shevchenko. Excuse me, she was just clearly outmatched. And yeah, there's not much else to say, man. Shevchenko wins by 50-45 decision, dominant performance. The Queen reigns again, and I think for Weili, I'm not sure if she wants to go back down to 115. I don't know what the point of her going back down to strawweight is, um, especially because she's just given up the title, and I think she'd just fucking smoke Mackenzie Dern. I think we all know that. So I think she should fight Alexa Grasso if she's staying at 125. I mean, both girls, former champions. Yeah, I think this would be a pretty good matchup. Yeah, not much else to say. Alexa Grasso versus Zhang Weili, book it. And obviously for Valentina Shevchenko, Natalia Silva is the matchup for her. I think we've all seen this coming. Natalia Silva is the number one contender. She just beat Alexa Grasso. And yeah, I do think Silva has a pretty decent chance in this fight. I mean, she's super quick on the feet. She's a lot younger. She obviously has a speed advantage and the ability to defend the takedowns of Shevchenko. So yeah, I think this would be a good title fight for Shevchenko. And yeah, that's all I gotta say, man. Natalia Silva definitely has a good chance of winning this one. So they should book this one ASAP. Main event of the evening, Islam Makhachev gets the double champ status. Super dominant performance over Jack Della Maddalena. Definitely a lot more impressive than what I expected. I mean, I did pick Makhachev to win by submission, but yeah, this was a dominant performance, man. Quite similar to the co-main event. Kind of just, you know, utilized his wrestling. He landed some big leg kicks as well early on, which seemed to have an effect on Della Maddalena. Um, Later on in the fight, I don't know if it was his leg that was injured, but you could see him wincing in pain in the last round 4 and 5, from bottom half guard. And yeah, Makhachev, man, what else? What else can you say except this guy is one of the greatest fighters of all time? No glaze, no glaze. But yeah, he looked really good in this fight. Clearly, the weight cut wasn't affecting him as much. He looked a lot stronger. Yeah, he had the right amount of striking, mixed it in. I mean, he got the takedowns like fucking clockwork, man. Della Maddalena just didn't really do much in this fight. Bit of a disappointing performance from Della Maddalena, but Makhachev did what he had to do to win the championship, and he's now the 12th double champ in UFC history. So yeah, super impressive performance from Makhachev, as I just mentioned. And for Della Maddalena, I think he should fight Shavkat. I mean, he called him out after the Gilbert Burns fight. Yeah, I think I should fight Shavkat next. I think that'd be a good fight. Yeah. So sorry, guys, I got fucking smoked by Islam. Yeah, I want to fight Shavkat next. But yeah, all jokes aside, man. Yeah, I think they should book this fight. I don't know what the fuck is going on with Shavkat. I mean, I know he got injured, but I don't know if this guy's just hiding out in the mountains of fucking Kazakhstan, riding horses and shooting bows at fucking eagles. But yeah, he needs to fight soon. Otherwise, they should remove him from the rankings. I mean, he hasn't fought in like a year now. And who was his last fight? Ian Gary. He beat Ian Gary I think it was last December. Yeah, last December. I mean, and even that fight was ho hum. Apparently, he was injured in that one too. Excuse me, guys. And yeah, obviously Madalena will need some time off, as will Shavkat. I think you can book this fight maybe like June next year, July, something. As both guys will probably need a lot of time off. But yeah, I think this would be a good matchup to get both guys back into title contention. And yeah, I think it would be a pretty back and forth fight. Not much else to say, but book it. And for Islam Makhachev, guys, I know, guys, let me explain this, guys. Just please, just hear me out, okay? Hear me out. Kamaru Usman will be fighting Islam Makhachev. The UFC, as I said before, the UFC does not fucking make sense, guys. I know Usman doesn't fucking deserve it. He was on a 3-fight losing streak before he met fucking Joaquin Buckley. I can't even remember the dude's name. But the UFC, man, it just doesn't make sense. Makhachev called him out in the post-fight press conference. Dana's been fucking glazing Usman all year. Kamaru, this kid's the greatest fucking pound for pound welterweight of all time. This kid's the greatest welterweight of all time. Yeah, if you forget GSP, hello GSP. Anyway, yeah, this will be the next fight in all likelihood. Like I said, I know it doesn't make sense. I know Usman doesn't deserve it, but Makhachev is Makhachev. He gets what he wants. I mean, even after he beat Oliveira to win the title, he wanted to fight Volkanovski, which didn't really make sense at the time, but I think he just wants to keep his legacy going. And I mean, he's got Khabib negotiating, he's got Ali negotiating on his side. And yeah, I just think Usman will be the next fight for Makhachev. Obviously, I would like it to be someone else, but I just think that there's such a logjam at the top of the 170-pound division right now. Like, if you can't really give it to Prates, he doesn't quite deserve it. I mean, Morales potentially does deserve it, but um, in terms of experience and name value, um, there's a hierarchy, I think. And Usman, obviously he's a well-established champion, and he's fought the best of the best for years and years and years. And yeah, like I said earlier, there's just a logjam at the top of the 170-pound division at the moment. And I think that if it'll be good for them to kind of get this fight out of the way to see what happens. Who knows, man? Usman could shock the world and get his belt back. Anything could happen, but I would be probably heavily favored on the side of Makhachev. Um, but yeah, man, like I said, they should just get this fight out of the way while the rest of the division sorts itself out, and then maybe we can do, I don't know, like another number one contender fight between Morales, Gary, or I don't know, Morales, Prates, and Gary maybe. I don't know who Gary should fight. Maybe I don't know, man. Maybe Gary could fight Della Maddalena or something, dude. I don't know. But yeah, I think this will be the next fight. And yeah, these are my matchups and reaction from UFC 322. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment, tell me what you thought in the comment section. And yeah, man, I will see you.